Welcome to the Chip and Cern Show, the podcast about everything and nothing at the same time. They were possibly separated at birth, only to be rejoined to create the sweet sounds that will caress your deepest cochlea. The show is real, random, rant-filled, and ruthless. Please be warned that the show may hurt your feelings, offend your grandma, and even kick your dead dog in the balls. So get ready, and let's get this shit started.
This shit has started. I'm Chip.
I'm Cern.
And you are listening to the Chip and Cern Show.
Once again, or potentially for the very first time.
Well, we laugh after every fucking time we say that, but we say it every time still.
So it never gets old.
It never does. Today we're trying out a new beer by our Studio West Indian Valley Brewing Company in Novato. Chip's my residence. Oh, that's a good. That could be for the soundboard right there, Cerny. This is their Hop Along IPA. 6.5% ABVs. Canned just yesterday.
Oh, yeah.
Let's see.
Ooh, I do enjoy that one.
Now, we tried another one of these.
That one is really good.
I would also say that this is, again,
refreshing,
bright, and like citrus forward. Not like a sculpin, not like a citrus. Like, oh, I can taste grapefruit or something like that in there. But it's just a very bright. Must be the type of hops that they're using for the IPA.
I do like that, and it's an IPA. So now there used
6.
to be
5. Gotta be a little bit careful with this one.
Chip and Cern V1, where we I think we did a whole episode on hating on IPAs.
In our misspent youth, maybe.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Remember India Pale Ass. Is what we used to refer to it as.
We were not fans.
But now that's actually what I tend to drink.
Yeah.
Actually, not tend to. It's my
go-to.
This one is very good because there's some IPAs where you take a drink and you're like,
a little skunky, a little dank.
Yeah, and you're like, it's okay.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna get through this, but not this one. This one is very delectable.
And dare I say, it would score very high on the crushable meter.
Yes. I can get myself in trouble with
I
these.
could see having, these are the 16-ounce tall cans.
Now,
I could see 2 or 3 of these.
The wife's
trouble
party. So
you want me to bring
she's got a big birthday coming up.
Yeah.
I got a guy from
30.
work coming out, and he's going to do a whole barbecue on the street and all that other shit. We'll have the pool ready.
We just took a look. In between episodes, CERN brought me down, gave me the tour of the pool, and if you haven't heard maybe our second most dad pod ever, CERN's pool episode. This is fucking great. I listened to it the other day. I was like, this is so fucking stupid. This is great. Anyway.
But that, I wouldn't mind having a couple of those around
this is what I got the growler of. So I was working on this last night.
There you go.
I might have half a glass left.
Oh.
I was like, I can't polish this whole thing. My wife will say something to me.
I'll be judged.
Yeah. So, you know what you need a drink with is this fucking show that Cerny and I watched. And I mean, we weren't the only ones. A couple other people have watched it, but
a few.
Abducted in Plain Sight on Netflix, a documentary.
Yes.
It was like, it's an hour and a half. Read that one sentence synopsis.
In 1974, 12-year-old Jan Broberg is abducted from a small church-going community in Idaho by a trusted neighbor and close family friend.
Okay. Now, people at work were saying there were some memes going around, and I obviously really didn't understand them because I hadn't seen the show, and they were trying to tell me about this.
There was some memes, and
I get it now. It's pretty fucking funny.
There was. You seen the one where they had the guy from Firefest?
Yes, Billy McFarland.
No. Sorry, the guy who said he'd suck some dick for water.
Yes.
And then it said, hold my beer or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
it was the dad. And we'll get to that in a second.
Now, so this starts out, this family, very vanilla, textbook, white folk, Mormon family from Idaho.
Yes, LDS.
Has, 3 kids there?
I believe so. It's 3 girls.
And they're interviewing the parents who are obviously, it's modern day, current time.
Yes.
And they're saying how this guy,
let me look up his fucking
yeah, let's
name.
look his name
I
up.
think
We
it
should
was
probably
B.
should.
B was a...
Oh, B. They called him B.
Yep.
How he was so nice and became a family friend real quick and all this stuff. And then they started...
They
started revealing that he was really into the daughter. What was her name? We just had Jan. He was really into Jan, or how they would phrasing it was like he had a obsession with Jan. And I mean, again, we're talking about a 10-year-old girl and a 40-something-year-old man, or late 30s, 40s. And now, Cerny, correct me, or like tell me what you did. And you said you watched almost all of it.
Yeah, I watched 3/4 of it,
Okay.
and then I didn't include my wife in the viewing.
And did you go back and
I
watch
had to
it?
watch it all the way back to start and do it again. Yes.
Now, every 15 minutes, we would literally pause it. One, because my wife had to take a leak because she's so pregnant.
Yes.
Two, to look at each other and go, "What the fuck? Like, how did this happen? Did this happen? Did you guys have the same reaction?"
Yeah, my wife would go, "Really?" She would have to stop and she'd go, "Hold on. Seriously. Seriously." And then when they would do the self-deprecation, I just felt so stupid. Like, "Oh, yeah, you should have. And you should have. I don't feel bad for you."
So, we'll spoiler alert from now on. You're going to get spoiled. If you haven't seen Abducted in Plain Sight on Netflix, go watch it now.
No, don't turn us off. Just pause it.
Just pause, watch the hour and a half, then press play on the pod.
Yeah, and then you'll know.
So basically, B, for the next couple of years, starts grooming Jan, this
She's 12 at the time.
12-year-old.
1974.
And
Robert
he's a pedophile.
Berchtold. That's his name.
Oh,
That was the guy.
Berchtold. That's right. And one day, B, or Robert Berchtold, comes to Jan's parents and says, "Hey, I want to take Jan on a horseback riding." And the mom was saying, "Oh, well, she has school and other reports and all this stuff. Like, it doesn't make sense." It was like a weeknight or something,
Yeah, it was like
right?
school, like a Thursday or something weird.
And he was just very resilient, and he just, "Okay, well, I'll pick her up from school, then I'll take her to horseback riding, and I'll have her back before dinner." And so, and this is after, like, before this, they were telling about how B would he would have a camera and he would take a lot of pictures of her and, like, hanging out with her a lot. And they had other kids, but they would...
I think they were a little young at that moment. They had two other girls. I think Jan was the oldest.
Yeah, so he was only really paying attention to this one.
Who's 12? I guess I was in his prime.
Yeah. Now, did the whole, like, it's been a couple weeks since I've seen it, but the whole affair situation happened before?
Yeah,
okay.
So it was
so
like, I think
I'll let you touch on that.
I believe now at this point in time, I don't think there wasn't vaginal intercourse. What was that from the rubber craft?
Oh, vaginal intercourse.
There was, I think it was just kissing or something very...
So it sounded like the husband and wife there wasn't a lot of fireworks in the bedroom.
Yeah.
And she hadn't, been told she was beautiful or touched, it sounded like, intimately at any, since probably her fucking kids were born. And basically B started sort of manipulating her and saying, he took her on a drive somewhere, or they went to some Bible camp or some bullshit.
Something weird.
And he was like, "You're so beautiful," and was really just playing her up. And she kind of admitted that she fell for him. And they, like, made out, and he fucking finger blasted her. I don't remember exactly what happened.
Something weird, yeah.
And so and again, this is heavy, heavy, heavy Mormon, like, religion. So
I think it was heavy in the town as well.
Yeah. And so she felt very guilty about even having sexual thoughts about B, which, is like, you can't even think someone else is hot that's not your husband, and that's, like, such a sin sort of thing that's a problem. Like, that, obviously, that's a one thing.
Yeah.
So that was happening. And then there was a little bit of I didn't understand fully the timeline between like all these different relationships that were happening.
I think it was before that too.
Was the husband?
Yeah, I was
Okay.
riding with. B.
B was also married.
Yeah, he was married and he had 5 kids himself.
He had a couple kids,
Something like that.
and I guess the husband and B went for a drive, and B started venting
Oh yeah,
about
I hate
how
my
bad.
wife
Yeah.
and she's this and that, and he said he looked over and he was aroused, according to him.
So B had a fucking tent in his 501s.
He's like, and then I basically gave him a handy, which is like,
And B, so the dad is there, and they're interviewing him, and he's this big old round guy, and he's sitting there with his belly.
His belly bugged me the whole time.
And remember how I was sitting, and he kind of had his hands on his belly, like
Yeah.
resting it like that, and he goes, and B had a bone, he had a fucking erection,
he was aroused, yeah.
and he said, I just need a release. Would you mind helping me out?
So at that moment in time, I entered a homosexual relationship with Robert Burstall. I was like, what the fuck?
It's like, what kind? It sounds like you're fucking under oath or something right now. And basically, the guy's like,
but he made it sound like, yeah, he said he needed
this is
release,
just kid
so,
stuff.
Yeah.
He's like, what? He goes, stop messing around, B. He goes, oh, what do you, this is just kid stuff. And so he like reached over and fucking gave his friend a hand
so
job.
it's like, yeah, sure, here you go. And it's like, okay.
And then immediately I paused it, and I'm like, if you don't think Cerny and I are referencing this every fucking podcast from now on, you're fooling yourself. Because Cerny, I just need a little relief.
I need a
will
little
you?
release.
Yeah.
Oh, well, at that moment in time, I
This is
entered a
kid stuff, Cerny.
homosexual relationship with Chipper.
Now, when he mentioned that he got choked up, correct me if I'm wrong, Cerny, of all the things that happened in this twisted fucking crazy story, that was the most disturbed that this man ever was jerking a guy off.
Yep, that was it. Because she was gone, when she was abducted. After this,
B basically had affairs with both parents, and said, if you don't let me hang out with her, I'm gonna tell the other one that.
Yeah,
and that's a huge deal. So go ahead, Cerny.
So this is when he wants to take her horseback riding, and then basically takes her to Mexico in his RV.
Yeah, and marries her.
Yeah, marries her in Mexico.
And she's 12?
Yes.
Okay.
So...
And this is like a Thursday.
So he wasn't as choked up about the...
allowing his daughter to get fucking abducted by a pedophile.
And married in Mexico.
And repeatedly raped.
Just the tip. Remember, it was like only a few inches in, so he didn't break the hymen or whatever it was.
And him giving a dude a hand job was more
traumatic.
What caused him, more traumatic. And I think even before I was a parent, I still couldn't fathom any of the shit happening that they allowed.
Yeah.
And now especially, I'm like, I might have fucking killed this dude.
Remember there was, I don't remember the timelines again. I can't quite remember, but remember when he would like sleep in the fucking bed with James?
That was after.
Okay.
So
that was after.
Yeah. So
even worse.
Cerny, again. And if you're not watching this movie and like flabbergasted, like just entire. Anyway, he abducted her on like the middle of the week. Let's just say it's Wednesday.
Yes.
And they're saying, oh, it's been 2 hours since they were supposed to be back home. And my wife's like, I would have called the cops there.
Immediately.
And then a day went by. 2 days went by. The guy's wife came over and said, oh, well, he's just whatever, blah, blah, blah. They waited, was it like 5 days?
Yeah, because she didn't want to embarrass him.
Embarrass him.
I was like,
so they waited five.
Fuck him. Fuck him.
They waited 5 days. Their daughter was gone for 5 days. Their 12-year-old daughter with a 40-something-year-old man was gone for 5 days before she even finally called the cops. They found out they were in Mexico, and they had gotten married because apparently that was legal.
Yeah.
Now, when they were in Mexico, this is the fucking crazy shit that was happening, and this is where it got sideways in my own head.
Okay.
So, to preface this, I had taken an edible before.
Oh, okay.
Before watching the show.
Okay.
So it kicked in.
So you were swerving.
I was swerving. But I'm also sitting on the couch, and my mother-in-law is there, and my wife is there, and we're watching this. And then they say, well, and then Jan, who they're also interviewing,
Yes. Now, okay, go on, finish that.
is saying when she was in the RV, she would wake up because B also gave him sleeping pills.
Yes.
Which were obviously drugs or like Quaaludes or something. She would wake up really groggy, and there was a voice, a tape recorder that would play Alien. That was I was an alien, saying that she is like one of the last people on Earth or something.
Yeah, like
and she
the chosen
needs
one or whatever. She had like
save
the race or whatever.
She's one of the chosen people, and she has to procreate to save life. And the alien voice didn't specifically say with who, but there was one point that she said she came out and she realized like she had to procreate, or she had to like carry the thing on with B.
Yeah.
And she started to kind of fall for B because these aliens. And I was like, I text my wife and I'm like, okay, now.
Were you sitting in the couch with her?
Yeah.
Okay.
I was like on the opposite, and I was like, okay, so I am a little bit high right now, but are they actually talking about aliens? Or am I like on fucking Mars? She's like, no, they're talking about aliens. I'm like, okay. I thought, I was like, holy shit. So and then Jan went into talk about how basically she was raped like repeatedly, but in her mind it wasn't that, right? She was like doing good. She believed these aliens.
Yeah, but I remember she was like looking at the tree branch outside the window.
That fucking.
I was like, ooh.
Now she was like recalling some of this, that made me. I don't get uncomfortable very often, but that was like.
Right, I was like, ugh.
I was like, this is not good.
No, I did complain. This is about my wife.
Yeah.
The fatter sister. Yeah. I don't know. I forget her name. She did the most crying of anybody.
Oh, right.
All she did was crying. I was like, she really wasn't even. I mean, I get it's your sister and everything, but she wasn't even a part of the whole. Not the parents. She did more crying than all the parents and Jan combined. All she did was cry. I was like, what
she
is
has the most like.
Yeah.
I wonder if maybe she thinks that she got luck. Like this could have happened to me.
Oh yeah.
Maybe. Anyway, if to think that the show wouldn't get any more fucking weird.
So after they came back, and
Cerny, you're jumping.
Well, they came back from Mexico, right?
Yeah, the cops they found him, and he said, I'll bring her back. And how long did he have her for? Like a month, right?
Yeah, it was actually a while because I thought we were going to play it out for a few days or something, but it was like a month or something. I was like,
and he said you have to recognize our marriage in the United States. And Jan, at this point, was like actually in love with him because she's 12, like pretty easily manipulated. And they were in like a Mexican jail, right?
After the federales came in, and because they
found his RV.
Yeah, because he was trying to call his brother or something like that.
Oh yeah,
that guy's kind of weird too.
And the B paid off a guard to get to talk to her.
I always like it was like, they're talking about the family and stuff, and they smash cut to his brother. Yeah, Bob loved the girls.
Yeah,
I was like, what the hell?
I know. Yeah, well, he had a sickness. He like fucking kids, but that was just Bob.
Yep, that was
doing
him.
Bob stuff.
We had like a sister.
He had a sickness.
He diddled her. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah. It was like.
Oh fuck! It was like a stepsister, and he was.
Yeah, it was stepsister. Okay. Yeah, he had his. Yep. He had a sickness.
And that was like a thing that they just kind of covered up. It was fucking mind blowing. Anyway, B talks in the Mexican jail to Jan and says, "You can't tell anyone about us, the aliens, like our relationship and stuff, or else like really bad things will happen because the aliens will do this." So Jan was like sold on this whole alien thing.
Which is, I don't quite blame her because she's like 12, 13 or whatever it is at this point in time. Okay.
At this point, you're not really blaming the kid because you can't.
I'm blaming the parents.
Every time the parents talk, you want to fucking strangle them.
Yes. Now,
they ended up coming back. They reunited Jan with the parents.
Yes.
And I again, flabbergasted. The B convinced the parents not to press any charges.
Yeah.
And to drop all charges against for kidnapping their daughter for a month, and they agreed to do that because he would like expose the fucking hand job.
Yeah, because your husband's a homosexual,
or had one, It
wasn't even. Yeah. So then,
I mean, I'll give Cerny a hand job right now, and I'll tweet about it tomorrow.
Yeah, well,
that's how much.
We'll go live on it.
Well, yeah, we'll put the 360 cam. I just need to really. This is just kid stuff, Cerny.
Yeah, just kid stuff.
Don't worry about it.
We'll get through this.
I can't even. You take over. I can't.
So then, I believe it was afterwards. Jan was kind of acting out,
That's right.
She was like screaming and yelling, and
that she loved B.
Yeah, and she was kind of dictating the situation that was going on. So this is what I always ask my wife. As we're watching the show, and the phone rang. She's like, and then I talked to B.
That's right.
I talked about first off, everybody's always on the phone. Remember, they go to see the lawyer. He's on his phone.
Yeah.
Like, did you not make the appointment? Did you just surprise him? But anyway, the constant taking the calls. I was like, why are you still taking the calls from this fucking guy? Like, they were talking to each other. I was like, if I answer the phone, because obviously they didn't have caller ID or whatever at that moment in time, I answer the phone. Hey, this is B. Boom.
Boom. Right back on the ringer. Oh, that's where the crazy shit. And obviously the cops are like, you can't associate yourself with him. You can't talk to him. For some reason, he was like let back into society, or he was in jail or something for like 9 days or some shit like that.
Something ridiculous.
And then the crazy shit was B convinced the parents that as part of his like therapy to fix him, he had to sleep in bed with her every they say 4 or 5 nights a week for 6 months.
It was ridiculous.
And the parents, they were like, well, I mean, he said it's part of the therapy, so we were okay with it.
Go find another test subject.
Again, pause. Just fucking mouth agape. Like, how? How is this?
I don't know. When I was there was a few moments where I was like, how? And then it makes you wonder. Hold on. I did pause it one time and told my wife, so this makes me wonder, how can people like this, how can they pay their bills? How can they remember to do their taxes? Point. How can they function in society if they are just this dull or thick-headed, or I don't know what you want to call
it. I honestly, disbelief is not even, it was just continually was like, I couldn't accept what was happening. At least 3/4 of the way through the movie, I thought it was fake. I thought they were gonna go at the end like, I fucking got, like, this is all, we made this up. This is a story.
I thought it was fake too.
I was like, are we getting fucking trolled right now? Because this is so fucking crazy. I can't even.
And they admitted to share it as well. That's what I told my wife. I said,
do you think it's fake? Are we gonna hear that we got Cerny?
We got.
What happened?
I don't think so, but I thought it was kind of odd. That was I was like, and they're out here admitting that they were, this stupid, the parents. But remember, so afterwards, a little bit afterwards, remember he bought a water park or something like that. Remember he bought that water.
Oh, in Wyoming,
yes.
Kids, like a kids camp, summer camp.
Yes,
that's right.
And then the mom sent her on a plane over there.
Jan was asking, she wanted to see B again. I need to see B. The person that she said the number later on, was it into the hundreds or thousands of like sexual?
I can't remember. I don't know.
She estimated. I think it was like 200 to 300 times that they had sex, and this when she was like 12 to 13 to 14. And I love B. I need to be with him. And he bought this, like Cerny said, he bought this water park or like a summer camp essentially in Wyoming, Jackson Hole or some shit like that. And the parents flew her out to see him.
It's kind of weird, remember, because the dad's like, I told my wife, you'll regret that. I would be like, are you serious? I mean, I would probably go back. I would get on a plane too if it's not like, oh, you'll regret this, but I'm gonna go back to sit on the couch and watching TV.
I mean, now Cerny, this is where you have more experience than I do. You have teenagers to deal with.
Yeah,
I'm sure they could be persistent and bothersome.
Oh yeah.
But like, you still have your core set of parental like guard up and morals.
Yeah. It's no big deal. Like, okay. And I hate using the line like our parents.
In your day, in my day,
Okay, Alan. I'm not bad. I'm like, true.
You're not, but other people are. Yeah.
I know how it goes.
I've
been there.
You could meet someone like me or Jay when we were 18 or whatever.
Now, side note.
Yes.
Our stories have been banned from the table, from the dinner table, and in general.
Our
stories.
Oh no.
Because people get ideas, I guess. Do I listen?
Which ones
Possibly
in
not.
particular?
I don't remember.
Okay.
I think it was one of the couple of them.
You started going down, and your wife just was like, X-nay.
Stop, gays.
Because I could see if you're talking to the high schooler and you're like, well, when we were juniors or sophomores, we were doing X, Y, and Z. And she's like, oh, that sounds like a good idea.
Get a notepad out.
Okay.
What was that again? Okay.
Wait, so you used to go to people's houses and turn their power off?
Yes.
And then drive away really quick? Yeah, okay. Cool. I'll add that to the... interesting. Okay.
Now you covered the guy's car in flour? Okay. So you went to work and...
You put the water first to make the flour stick more.
Yeah.
And then when he turns his AC on the next day...
It just shoots him with flour.
Looks like he got a old school makeup.
Poof. So he was vacuuming flour out of his car 6 months after this happened.
Oh my God. I did feel bad about that part, but anyway.
So did I. But at the time, but now I don't.
Character building. So she flew to Wyoming, and then that's when he took her again? Or it was only going to be for 2 weeks or something, right?
Yeah. Didn't they? They got her back, remember? And then she had ran away. Remember? They got her back. It was like a few weeks later. And then it was like she was walking on the couch, or the mom was sitting on the couch watching TV. Said, "Come here," and she said no, and she ran back to her room. And they went back to her room, and she was gone.
Now,
some kind of weird note.
Yeah, that's right. And this whole thing was in between.
Her handwriting is better than mine.
Wait,
remember they showed the note, like Do
you have bad handwriting?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, I do too. Wasn't this whole thing like when they put it in perspective from when she was originally kidnapped to this time that they sent her to Wyoming was like 3 months or something? Wasn't it crazy?
Yeah,
it was like
it was ridiculous. So then remember she had quote ran away
because she loved him.
Yeah.
Now again, I'm watching this. I'm not saying this kid's so fucking dumb. You're thinking this is a 12-year-old who's like clearly been manipulated.
Yeah. So starting at 12, I think at this point was she like 13, 14, somewhere around there. But yeah.
She said she wanted to marry him.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then remember it was like no one knew where she was.
Yeah.
The conversation with they like played the tapes of the mom and B like talking to each other like, do you know where she is? No. But I didn't talk to her.
Oh shit, that's right. I fucking forgot about that.
Yeah, and it was like, if you know where she is, or kind of shit like that. If you're trying to screw me, whatever it was, I'll have you killed. Bring it. And then they eventually found her at the somewhere in California. Remember, it was in California. It was like a Catholic school.
That's right, a school for girls that he had put her in. He had like enrolled her in that, and clearly he obviously, yes, legally he kidnapped her, but she sort of to me, like went willingly. Obviously,
Yes.
she didn't know what she was doing.
No.
Yeah, and they found her in that Catholic school.
Yes.
And then he actually did get arrested or something that time, right?
Yeah. Yeah. It was. Yeah, it was.
Or is this
like
when
that.
you stopped watching?
No, we watched the whole thing.
Oh, okay.
Because I remember, because I actually had to pause it, and I was like, I didn't know if this motherfucker's dead or alive. I hope he died, and he is dead.
Spoiler. Now where are we? We're like getting towards near the end of the documentary.
Yes.
How did he end up getting like apprehended? Or who found her in the school?
Wasn't it like the FBI or something kind of like that?
Oh yeah, the FBI. The
like,
FBI
that guy, because they said at that point in time, remember, it was that old guy who was like sitting in like a courtroom or something.
That's right, and he said we never had a pedophile before.
Yeah,
and this is like the first incident of a pedophile, and so they found her, and they realized like that was her, B, and he got I'm getting a little fuzzy on the details now, but how did he get like in custody? She took him. And he took her.
He had signed the. Remember, I think he signed the document. Remember, to enroll her.
Oh, to enroll her to school.
Like so then it was like pinpointing him.
And then I remember her saying that she started getting older, and the aliens and stuff started not really making much sense to her. Like she kind of.
And then it was like, if she wasn't pregnant by her 16th birthday, then the world would end. And her 16th birthday came and went,
and nothing happened. That's right.
So
okay.
Like, oh, wait a minute.
Because from the conversation they had back in Mexico was, all this stuff has to happen, or like your sister's going to lose her voice, or your parents will die. And it was like, oh well, her birthday came and went, and she didn't die, or her sister never lost her voice, and she really started having kind of this doubts about these promises, and then she started to realize like the aliens weren't really real. And this is kind of when B started being less interested in her, right?
Yeah,
because she was getting older.
Yes. And then remember, she eventually now we smash cut to a little bit later on when she decides to make the write that book with her mom.
Was she like 16 or 18 or something?
Yeah, I don't know. Can't remember.
Yeah, she wrote a book about her mom and mentioned him, the name, and like told this whole story, and it kind of blew up.
Yes.
And B started getting really mad, and did he sue them, or what happened exactly?
I remember when they went to court, and she said, what are you trying to accomplish here? And she said, I'm trying to prevent...
Yeah. And they had a video
like
of them in court like...
Oh, I'm sorry,
I'm sorry, Jan, or and
it was the same chicken shit apology you always hear, like, I'm sorry that you felt that way, that kind of thing.
Taking no ownership like a bitch.
Karate chop you in the throat.
And
then there was 6 or 7 other women that came forward that said, this guy did the same thing. Yeah. And then I think he was going to be put up on charges for rape.
Yeah.
And then he killed himself.
He took a bunch of pills or something.
Yes. Remember the brother announced it. And then Bob killed himself. Yep, took a bunch of pills, killed himself.
Super direct, fucking right to the point. I mean, obviously, watching this, you wanted to see him. You wanted some like horrible thing to happen to him, right?
Yeah,
he got raped so hard in prison that he bled internally.
Or he got raped so hard he got anal cancer, and now he's
anal cancer. Anal and dick cancer, or they cut his dick off, and he got an infection in his dick, and that tied in with the anal cancer.
And then he got leprosy.
Oh,
there you go.
And he died. Again.
And then they tried to hang him, and it didn't quite break his neck, so he stood there choked to death.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, cool.
Choked to death on his own vomit.
There you go.
Whilst vultures picked apart his
liver,
anal cancer, and his eyes. Again, this movie ended, and I'm like... I thought we were gonna get fucking
duped.
What was the Ashton Kutcher show? Punked. I thought we were gonna get punked. I mean, it's just so fucking crazy. I don't know what to say. We gave you the thing. You heard our opinions. We'd love to hear your thoughts.
We'd love to hear your thoughts.
You can send those.
Love to hear your thoughts about the parents, about B. Well, I mean, whatever. Just your thoughts in general.
Yeah.
You can email us at chipandcernshow at gmail.com. Or you can reach out to us on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, anything Chip and Cern Show. Just Google Chip and Cern Show. Now, Chip, I believe they could wear some Chip and Cern Show merch while emailing us.
Whilst emailing, they can. Hats, we have stickers that we'll just send you for free. Just send us an email, what Cerny said, or tweet us or whatever. We'll get it to you. Slide into our DMs.
chipandcernshow at gmail.com.
chipandcernshow.com/shop is where all the merch is. And then also at teespring.com, just search Chip and Cern Show. We have hoodies, t-shirts, fucking iPhone, Samsung cases, whatever.
Whatever you want.
I don't know if it'll work on the folding Samsung phone. We don't have that one yet.
I don't subscribe to that.
That's another day, another pod, sir. Don't forget to tell a friend. That's always helpful.
Tell a friend, tell a
neighbor,
family member, neighbor,
church
enemy,
fellow church.
Yeah. Mormon.
Post on Facebook. That helps us sort of spread the word, or get new listeners or whatever. And we really appreciate everyone that engages with us on
we do. We get
social media.
We get excited. Actually, we
tickled pink.
We always think it's a dupe.
We're like, okay, is this Joe and Dana or what's?
So who does Dana know in? Remember the guy in Hawaii?
Yeah.
So Dana knows people in Hawaii, so
right. His dad was born there, so it could be his uncle.
Could be his uncle. So then we start calling Dana the name of the person.
Yeah.
He's like, "What are you guys talking about?"
That was pretty funny.
What are you talking about, Dana?
Yeah. Oh yeah, Tom. Tom. Anyway, obviously
our self-esteem is low.
No secrets there. Don't let your children be groomed by a pedophile.
That's the moral
of the story today.
We took the long way, but that's the moral of the story.
Yeah. It took 36 minutes and 11 seconds.
All right, there you go.
Here we are. And until next time, I'm Chip.
I'm Sir.
Cheers.